Coming up tonight on YCN News, voters in both New Hampshire and Vermont head to the polls to cast ballots on important local issues. Vermont State Police arrest and charge 2 men with heroin possession. And the New London Hospital is recognized with an award. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening and welcome to this Tuesday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. It's election day with statewide races coming down to the wire in some cases. Locally, issues that determine a community's quality of life also are on the ballot. For example, will Claremont voters approve a change to the city charter and change how the city is governed? In the Upper Valley, Hartford, Vermont residents will vote up or down a recreation facility bond at the high school. It's the second time Hartford voters will mark ballots on the issue. That's because a March 2013 joint town and school bond passed. Yet all costs to complete a new track and field facility were too low as presented. It is about $3 million, not $1 million, that is required to complete the project. Supporters say an improved track and field area, which the school district does not have, could pay off by more out-of-town students paying tuition to attend Hartford High School. Voters in Vermont and New Hampshire will elect a new governor, state legislators, and representatives in Congress. In Warner, the District 15 state senate race will determine who will claim the seat held for many years by Democrat and former Senate President Sylvia Larson. Republican Lydia Dubé-Harmon is challenging Democrat Dan Feltes for the seat. How to best fund state government is at the cornerstone of 2 other races in Warner, voters will determine. Incumbent Democrat David Carrick seeks another term, while Republican James Danforth hopes to win in the Merrimack County District 25 House race. A similar game plan is shaping up in the Merrimack County District 7 race. Democrat Clyde Carson wants to enter his second term in office, while political newcomer and Republican Patrick Page aims to win his first state election. County races in Bradford could be a voting draw for residents, the Concord Monitor reports. The Merrimack County Board of Commissioners Chairman Peter Spalding is not running for re-election. Turning back to Upper Valley news, the Select Board and other town officials in Hanover heard a proposal yesterday night regarding a liquid natural gas plant in Lebanon. The natural gas would be trucked into Lebanon in a 188-acre site owned by J. Campion. The natural gas would be vaporized and then distributed through an underground system of pipes. Hanover Town Manager Julia Griffin says yesterday's presentation is the first for the Select Board. Campion's proposal remains that, a proposal. Still, businesses such as Hypertherm and 2 major facilities, Dartmouth College and the Dartmouth-Hitchcock Medical Center in Lebanon, are interested in the plan. With Campion last night were Gulf Oil Jonathan Carroll, Ken Stanley of Trimont Engineering, and investment expert Scott Brown. Cost savings for fuel for businesses and perhaps later for residences would be significant, a reason why the proposal is gaining interest. The Vermont State Police in Royalton are investigating a runaway juvenile from the Pomfret area. Sometime between midnight and 5 a.m., 15-year-old Timothy Stanwood, or TJ, left his residence in Pomfret. It is believed he is still in the area. The state police is asking for the public's help in locating the teen. Anyone seeing TJ is asked to contact the Royalton, Vermont State Police at 802-234-9933. Also in police news, 2 men are under arrest and charged with heroin possession. Today, shortly before 1 a.m., Vermont State Police stopped a car on I-91 in Springfield. Police say the car was being driven erratically. Police conducted a vehicle search. During the search, 86 bags of heroin, a crack pipe, several prescription pills, and a jar of marijuana were located. The investigation also revealed that 19-year-old Ethan Evans of North Middlesex, Vermont, was operating the Volkswagen while under the influence of narcotics. Evans and passenger 21-year-old Matthew Fitzpatrick of Andover, Connecticut, were arrested on the charges, say police. Windsor County Superior Court Judge Karen Carroll ordered Evans to be released on a citation and ordered that Fitzpatrick be held at the Southern State Correctional Facility for lack of $5,000 cash or a surety bail. Both men were issued conditions of release. A December 16th court date in Windsor County Superior Court is scheduled. When YCN News returns, the New London Hospital is recognized with an award, and voters head to the polls in Brattleboro, Vermont.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Recently, the New London Hospital was recognized with an award. Let's join Dr. Chris Eschbach to hear about her department and this recognition.
So diagnostic imaging is the name we use in medicine to describe everything that you're used to hearing a radiology department might do. It's kind of an updated term, but it's a catch-all term for all the procedures or pictures you could have taken in the hospital. So MRI scans, CT scans, ultrasound, mammography, bone mineral density, and just regular old x-rays. So fortunately for us at our critical access hospital, we're able to offer all of those services that I just mentioned. So standard x-rays and fluoroscopy, CT scans, which we do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, MRI scans, including MRI with a wide bore or open kind of technology, ultrasound, mammography, bone mineral density, and nuclear medicine procedures. Those are all typical to most big hospitals and academic medical centers. Not every small critical access hospital, of which we have 25 in the state of New Hampshire, can offer nuclear medicine procedures. We're fortunate to have that service come here. So in 2013, the American College of Radiology, which is the accrediting body for radiologists and hospitals, which establishes a standard of care, they established a new category called the Diagnostic Imaging Center of Excellence. And so over the past year, we've been working really hard to achieve that designation. That means that each of the modalities we have, each of those things that I listed, CT, MRI, ultrasound, has to be accredited by the American College of Radiology, many of which we already had. We completed having all of our modalities accredited, and then this is like a next step above that, where the American College of Radiology actually comes to your hospital on site, goes over all of your policies and procedures, looks at the facility that you're operating in, evaluates your patient safety, and your technologist credentials, and it gives you their stamp of approval, if you will, for achieving something that's above and beyond and all the others. It's beyond accreditation. It's something that really qualifies as a significant improvement in patient care and sets you apart from your peers.
Congratulations to New London Hospital. It is marvelous to have such fine medical facilities in our midst. Our final story brings us to the polls in Brattleboro, Vermont. Voters gathered today on the second floor of the municipal building downtown to cast their ballots. Within Brattleboro's voting districts, 3 Democrats are running for state representative. Valeria A. Stewart is on the ballots for voters in District 1. In District 2, Progressive Democrat Molly S. Burke is running for state rep. And in Brattleboro District 3, Tristan Tolino is on the ballots for state representative. Countywide, voters in Windham will be electing a probate judge and assistant judge. Robert M. Pugh, a Democrat, is running unopposed for probate judge. Windham will also elect one of 4 candidates running for assistant judge. Democrat Patricia W. Duff, Democrat Paul Kane, Alice Landsman, and Lynn Russell, both Liberty Union, are running for the position. Running unopposed for Windham County Sheriff is Stephan A. Gulick. Town Clerk Annette Cappy reported that voting was steady all day with a good turnout. Tomorrow, YCN will update you on the results of the elections in both Vermont and New Hampshire, so stay tuned. When YCN News returns, we'll hear from Upper Valley Chronicles' Elizabeth DeRazio, who met with Rob Schultz from Cover Home Repair.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tonight we'll have mostly cloudy skies with lows in the 40s and winds up to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow we'll have a high of 56 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. Winds will average between 10 and 15 miles per hour, but are expected to increase to 20 miles per hour in the afternoon. Wednesday night will be partly cloudy with lows in the 40s and calm winds. Thursday we have a 70% chance of rain after 2 p.m. with mostly cloudy skies and a high of 51 degrees. Thursday night we'll have an 80% chance of rain with lows in the 40s. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Tomorrow in New Hampshire, the Danbury Select Board will meet at 6 p.m. and the Charlestown Select Board will meet at 6:30 p.m. In Hanover, the World Music Percussion Ensemble will perform at the Hopkins Center for the Arts at 7 p.m. In Lebanon, the City Council meeting will be held at 7 p.m. At 7:30, the Lebanon Opera House will host the Steep Canyon Rangers. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. The number 2 Sunapee Lakers hosted the number 7 Littleton Crusaders in this Division III girls soccer tournament game. The Lakers came out hot, eager, and physically scoring in the first 3 minutes. Before the half, the two teams traded goals and the Lakers enjoyed a 1-goal lead at halftime. In the second half, the physical play continued as the Crusaders imposed their will on Sunapee in every respect but putting the ball in the goal. The Lakers' goalie and defense were up to the task until their breakaway scoring chance precipitated a penalty kick. Senior midfielder Taylor Usko then struck the ball hard to her right, which the Crusader goalie got both hands on but could not control, giving Sunapee a 3-1 lead. But that was not the end of the game as it neared the 2-minute mark. Littleton scored to make it 3-2. But the Lakers held on to advance to the semifinals on Thursday in Laconia against number 3 Derryfield, a team that they split with during the regular season. Good luck, Lakers.
Thanks, Matt. When YCN News continues, we'll join Capital Connections' John O'Connor.
The YCN News continues in a moment.